The main purpose of yoga. Union. The word yoga literally means union. The Sanskrit word means union. And it's a union, ultimately, of the self with the divine. It's the highest truth. It's where all of our spiritual traditions say, you're not the body, you're the soul, you're the spirit, you're divine. Right? We go through scriptures. It's all about you are divine. It's all about God saying, I am one with you. Everything in the universe is pervaded by the divine. We're all divine. That soul, that spirit, that consciousness is us. But we don't live like that. We live like our bodies. We live like our personalities. We live as our identities. So yoga is a union. It's not a forsaking, which is very interesting because a lot of times on a spiritual path, we tend to forsake this individual self for that self. So you think, okay, so spirituality is moving away from this into that. But the point is, we have a body. We may not be our body, but we have it. We only have one. If the divine lives within us, then it means the body is a temple. It's the home of, the abode of the divine spirit, which means we need to take care of it. And so yoga is really a union of them. It's not a forsaking of one for the other. It's a union that says, through my body, through my breath, I unite. I'm not the body. I'm not the breath. I'm not my actions. But I'm using my body, using my breath, using my actions to unite with the divine. So that's ultimately what yoga is. And that's where we have so many different paths of yoga. You know, we talk about, as I said, Jnana Yoga, path of wisdom or knowledge. Bhakti Yoga, or path of devotion. Karma Yoga, path of service. I mean, there's so many different yogas because there's so many different ways to unite. There's so many different ways to connect. And of course, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like you come to Ganga, the point is have a bath in Ganga. Doesn't matter which ghat, which platform you go down. Doesn't matter whether you get into Ganga toe first or you dive in head first or cannonball in. It doesn't matter. Ganga doesn't play favorites. It's not like, the cannonball one gets more blessings than the one who came in toes first. It's not like that. The whole point is just get in. And similarly with our spiritual path, with yoga, it's just about get in. It's about get in. But what yoga isn't is just physical exercises. What yoga isn't is just breath exercises. It's that full union, which is where, if you look at the 8 limbs of Patanjali, he actually gave it really simply and really beautifully, which is, he began with the yamas and the niyamas, how we live in the world, non-violently, truthfully, giving, sharing. We're not hoarding, we're not stealing. We live with purity, we live with introspection and surrender, and all of these aspects of what you could call a dharmic life, a spiritual life that has nothing to do with your religion, that has nothing to do with your culture. This is universal sort of 10 commandments of a good life by whatever religion you are. And then moving up through using the body and asanas, through using the breath and pranayama, and we go all the way up through various aspects of concentration, of attention, all the way up into samadhi, which is ecstasy, that bliss, that union. But it's a full path that begins with the outer and goes to the inner. But ultimately the point being